This is part 5 of my video of Springburn Park, and this is the rockery pond area. I'm just taking a walk around just to show you the kind of general state it's in. Just need to be careful here coming down these rocks. And you'll see down here that unfortunately there's another site that reminds you of the pond near the entrance where I did my first video, and this is supposed to be a pond area down here, and as you can see it's just all totally overgrown once again. The rockery as well, you can see all the overgrown plants here as well. Just a total mess. Rubbish again dumped in the park, bags. Right, and this is supposed to be, here we go, this is supposed to be the pond down here. Look at that. Absolutely sad. Now this is beautiful, this area. This is absolutely beautiful. But instead of seeing pond, all you see now is mud and overgrown. I mean, they're lily pads down there. What you can see there, they're lily pads, but the problem is that it's not been maintained for such a long time. Maybe 7-8 years longer possibly, when you look at the state of the overgrowth here. That, again, you can see a part of the pond. There's beer bottles down there. You can see a part of the pond here, but then another part of it is, there we go, if I zoom in you'll see some of the water there. The other part of it you just can't see in because it's just become a jungle. And then again, we'll go around here, we'll go over the bridge. Now this bridge will be dangerous in the winter, it'll be very slippy, and what they did before was they put sort of like a thing down, what was it called again, the metal sort of sheeting down, like to try and stop people from slipping, kind of like that there. And they had to take it up again because it started falling apart and it was dangerous. But as you can see here, there's a lot of kind of mould on this bridge, so you could easily slip here in the winter. Now, instead of looking down at a pond, you're just looking down at like that now. And then just rubbish, general rubbish in there, like, as you can see, it's just an absolute mess. And then this is supposed to be the pond here, and as I'll show you if I come out a bit, zoom out, this, believe it or not, this area here, this is supposed to be a pond. Where those stones, you can see where the stones begin, that's supposed to be near where the pond begins. And then all you see is overgrown mess. And there's a seat there, a lonely seat sitting over what's supposed to be a pond but now looks like a jungle. Oh dear, not good. Absolutely shocking. And what I'll do is, let's have a wee seat down here and look at the view we're greeted by. Oh, this is the view you get from sitting in the seat. Oh. So instead of looking at a pond, I'm looking at just an overgrown mess. Now, I know the Glasgow City Council workers that are in here, I know that they work very hard. They're probably pretty limited to what they can do, because no doubt they will be ridiculously understaffed. What I believe is, there is two full-time staff in this park to look after this massive area. And obviously, what must be happening is their bosses above them are not giving them tasks to do work like this, because as you can imagine, could 2 people genuinely do this work? You know, maybe one with a digger and one helping, I don't know, maybe a push, but I mean really this part needs more than 2 full-time staff in it. And you'll see again when you zoom in, the pond is now becoming full of rubbish. and it's sad to see it in such a state. Look at it. and there's cans stuck in the pond. So there you go. And there's a camera up there, as you will see. Hello. So this camera's actually looking, obviously keeping an eye on this park. But I mean, if I was sitting in a control room watching, having a look at this park, you'd sit and think to yourself, this is supposed to be a pond, and all it is an overgrown mess. I'm going to take a walk around here quickly. You'll see here what's happened is the fences have all, the wooden fences have all fell apart. So you can imagine if kids play here, the complete hazard they could be actually playing around. I mean, again, if you look down there, you don't know where the pond starts. You don't know where it starts. So if a kid was playing there, they fell, they could go into that pond and they could drown. Because the pond water around it is relatively deep and you could drown in this. So I think that really it needs to be, these fences around it need to be re-erected properly. And I mean, it needs to be cleared. Just look at the mess of the rockery around here. It's just an absolute disgrace. I mean, look at that there. I mean, that's a hazard. There's things sticking up there, and look at it. If I push that, it's not even in the ground. It's just an absolute disgrace. And then you'll see down there, there's a small bit there, and that's where the pond's supposed to be. So all that green stuff's supposed to be a pond. So this jungle here is supposed to be water. Sadly, you can't see any, and a lot of it has all went green because of the amount of stuff that's just overgrown in it. Now this is not how you maintain a park. This is a damn disgrace, and the bosses who run this park should be ashamed of themselves. Totally ashamed. And I'm going to highlight this so something's done about it. And if nothing gets done, I'll keep highlighting it until something does get done. And I encourage everyone else that watches on YouTube these videos, if you have a park in your area that has not been looked after and it's been abused by the council, do what I'm doing, do a video, take pictures, and chase these things up, because if we don't, it's going to get to the point where it's just all going to fall apart and the park's not going to be used anymore. You'll see here, look at this here. I mean, it's just, that's supposed to be a walkway and it's all became so overgrown you can't even walk there. Look at all the bushes there. And it's actually quite hazardous because you can hardly even see where the steps are supposed to be. That in there where you walk round is supposed to be a walkway, and look at it. Shocking. Come round here. And another thing I've noticed in the park as well is the amount of bins at times that seem to be totally full. Now look, this is the pond supposed to be here again, and then look at this bin. Look at the state of this. You know, look at this. Bottles of Buckfast, Tenants. Obviously someone's been having a party here on the bench by the looks of it. And look at the bins, absolutely full. And I'm going to zoom into this sign here. What does it say? Let Glasgow flourish. Well, if this is Glasgow City Council's idea of letting Glasgow flourish, and particularly Labour, because bear in mind this is a mostly Labour-led council in Glasgow, shame on the Labour Council as well for allowing this. This has been about 7 or 8 years, so this has been in their time, so there's no excuses here. This has been left like this for a long time, and I've not bothered their butt about it. Look at the state of it. I mean, imagine a visitor coming from abroad and seeing this. I mean, full bin, bottles of Buckfast, bottles, cans of Tenants, beer, just lying there, coming in with your kids and then seeing this. Does this give across a good impression? Does it? Hell. Absolutely shameful. I'm going to end this video for now, and I'm going to take one more video, and that'll be us. And hopefully something will get done about this. I mean, that is absolutely shocking.